Welcome back to Artist Mindset. I'm your host Martina, and in today's episode we're heading into Aarhus' vibrant art scene. I'm at Kunsthus Tese in Graun, a space opened earlier this year by gallery owner Sarah Camilla, who wanted to create not just a place for exhibitions, but also for artistic process and collaboration. Today's guest is painter Lot Winthe. I first heard about Lot through Sarah, who spoke about one of Lot's earliest exhibitions, a raw, vulnerable and open body of work that left a lasting impression on her. Yesterday I finally had the chance to meet Lot in person, see her paintings up close and dive into the story behind her career. In our conversation, we explore her path as an artist, what drew her to join Kunsthus Tese, the challenges of being a full-time creative, and the pivotal moments that shaped her journey. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for coming.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I came yesterday actually to this studio to meet Lot finally in person. I just wanted to first ask, for anybody that might not know you, would you like to introduce yourself and what you do very quickly?
Yeah, I am Lot. I'm a visual artist based in Aarhus, frequently traveling, doing residencies and exhibitions abroad, but always seem to return to the City of Smiles, and usually painting feminine vibes.
Thank you. I would like to start from your childhood, and I'm curious if art, or particularly painting, was something that was always with you since you were little, or if it was something that sort of developed over the years.
Yeah, so I'm actually from a very creative family, and it seemed like people were either artists or entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
Of some sort. So my grandparents made a furniture company, but my grandma really liked to draw as well. And I remember seeing my great-granddad's drawing of a nude woman, and I just thought she was so beautiful, and I wanted to learn how to draw like that. And I think I just could not get that out of my head, the way that she was posing, and it was so peaceful and powerful, and I thought it was very beautiful that a man would portray a woman like that, actually. But I was a kid that was allowed to draw on the walls and paint, and as long as I finished the projects, my dad was always like, it's okay, you do it, but you have to finish, you have to be serious about it, and these kind of things.
Oh wow.
So
I love that.
Yeah, I was lucky, I think. Pretty lucky.
Yeah. So how did you so you said you were always drawing and painting. How did it turn into the paintings that you do now?
So I think the creative stuff always followed, but no one ever really told me that that's something you could do anything with.
Okay.
You know, the story that you have to die before you become anything as an artist was kind of
depressing.
depressing. So, and I remember that was a thing I was told in kindergarten. I was like,
yeah,
okay. So I think what I thought about was architecture or something like that, but it was still too technical. It was still too, I don't know, set up for me or something. And I remember I was actually in boarding school. I was ill on a ski trip, and I just had plenty of time to myself to think, and I was like, what makes me happy, and what could I do, and mine started to wander. And then I was like, okay, I could do something with art because that's what I love, but I'm gonna the whole narrative, I'm gonna die
the starving
before.
artist.
Yeah, exactly. So how can I do something that's arty, but I can still survive? And then my mind wandered to fashion design, designer. And I shared that with my dad, and he was like, that's amazing and great idea and stuff. And
oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah, he's always both of my parents are always very supportive. And so it's kind of tragic. I always did the proper thing, but I did not fit in, right?
I can relate so much.
Yeah, I think that's the journey of all of us. So I went to the standard high school, STX, in Denmark. But I wanted to, after that, try to get into Kolding Design School or something like that.
Yeah.
But half a year in, someone was like, why are you not in HOTX? Why are you not in the technical kind? I was like, I did not know this was a thing.
Yeah.
And then I had asked a little bit my parents, like I was still living on the countryside. I was like, could I maybe move to Aarhus? Like, would that be a thing? And they were like, no. And then like after half a year, I was like, I'm moving to Aarhus.
Yeah.
I'm looking into this. I'm going to go check out this school. I'm moving to Aarhus. Will you help me or not? And then they were like, oh, okay, she's made a decision.
Yeah,
you know, we have to support it.
Yeah.
So I attended technical school here. And with a lot of, I think it's always like technical school here is like people are, that's for people that ask why or how.
Yeah.
And I like that a lot.
That's nice, yeah.
So it was creative in many ways, and eventually that led to a lot of fun here. I was also part of the Ambassadens theater. That was the thing 10 years ago here, with a lot of artsy people.
Yeah,
so much fun. So I was a volunteer there, and I saw, okay, there's actually some people making a living somehow in the cultural world here. But eventually that led to, like after high school, I went to take an AP design technologist degree in Herning. And that was in fashion design, and then eventually the entrepreneurship studies here in VIA.
Oh, I wanted to study that.
And that was actually not meant to be at all, but Henrik, who was the teacher, he kept saying like, you should do this, because at that time I made fashion bags. I had started a brand with someone, a very good friend of mine, Jeanette, and he kept saying, come on, you have to apply for this one. I was like, no, I'm in fashion design. This is what I have to do. Yeah. And then I applied for the bachelor in both, like fashion design as my top priority and entrepreneurship as my second. Yeah. And I got called in for an interview, but I was in Nepal. Oh, at the time. And I was like, shit, can I do an online call maybe? Yeah. They were like, no. So I was like, okay, I'm not gonna go home from Nepal. I was on my way to Everest. So then I got the mail that I was accepted to entrepreneurship, and I could feel in my heart like, this is also where I belong.
Oh, that's so beautiful.
Yeah. And then while I was studying that, like I was also hanging out in artsy environments still. I was still doing design. It was super fun. We were in fashion week and stuff like that. We also had a fashion week here in Aarhus, but someone actually, he was like looking at me drawing, like he's also a local artist. He kept commenting on my work, and he was like, why are you not doing more of this? Why are you not like hanging out with the other artists? Why don't you have a studio? And I was like, well, because, you know, I get the starving artist and stuff. But that happened. And then when COVID hit, I remember like I was screwed, like so many people, like my plans fell through. And then I could just hear this voice that was like, paint. And I was like, no, I have bigger problems. I have to find money and stuff. And the voice was like, paint. And then I painted, and I sold my first works. And I was like,
I love that.
Yeah. And I was like, I have never earned that much money in such a short time. Something so fun. I need to investigate this.
Oh, that's so cool.
So that was my short story.
I love this story. And I think it might also inspire a lot of people, because I can relate so much. And I feel like I'm in the state of like people asking me why I don't have studio or where is my studio. And I'm always like, oh, well, I don't really have a studio, you know, because of money and stuff. And but then I have this voice in the back of my mind like, get a studio.
You have to listen to the voice.
Yeah, I feel like I need space to create. So
yeah. But also it's something that comes out, like if you take that space, if you listen to that, like I've never listened to that thing and been wrong. And I remember actually what led me here, because we're going to talk about that as well. So like in short, I was downtown here during COVID. Yeah. And I had this voice saying like, go to this cafe, and I was like, no, I want to get home and have a nap, you know? Yeah. And I kept fighting, you know? And then eventually it got louder and louder. Go to this cafe. Yeah. I was like, fine. So I went there. I talked to the owner that I know,
Mhm.
and he was like, I've seen your paints. You need to talk to Sara Camille. I've met her. You need to talk to her. I was like,
What?
okay, I guess that's what I was supposed to do.
I
And then
love it.
eventually I met up with Sara Camille. I was like,
Mhm.
this happened, so...
Yeah.
And then we started talking, and,
Yeah.
one thing led to another, and now I'm here.
And so is it intuition that brought you here to this new Kunsthaus? Or-
Well, other things, but I think,
Mm.
it's an amazing place. It's
Yeah.
funny because I was traveling a lot. I came back in the spring of 23. I've been in South and Central America a lot, and then I came back, and it was like, okay, it's time to be here for a little while.
Yeah.
And I reunited with an old friend as well,
Yeah.
and some old friends, and this one was from my time in Ambassadens Theater.
Yeah.
And we were both like, we need a space to practice our thing and like do our thing and stuff like this. And then it turned out that Sara Camille was starting something here with the Tigger and whatever other people were
Yeah.
involved. And I was just like, I'm interested in this, because at the time I had like a home studio, but it's so boring. Like,
yeah.
I really, and especially as a woman, like I need, I need another setting than my own home
Yeah.
to not get distracted, but also like to work in different moods.
Mm.
So, and I think this place is perfect because it's like you can open the door, you can walk around, you can go
Yeah.
downstairs and meet people, or you can just close it and sit here. You can go to a cafe, and like
Yeah.
there's something for all sorts of moods.
Mm.
So when she presented this, I think I was one of the first people to see it, and I think I was one of the first people to move in, maybe with
Yeah.
Simone downstairs. So now it's been a year.
Oh wow.
Yes.
So you can feel it had like an impact on your work.
I think it's what the people are making this, right? And
Oh yeah.
Sara Camille is picking some really good people here that are also up for, having colleagues, being colleagues, helping each other
Yeah.
and stuff. But in itself, I think, like, just getting outside of my home, like going to going to the job that I thought I was. It's not the classic 9 to 5 job, but like having that transition on my way here, coming here, like getting the coffee, starting the day, and like also leaving it behind so I can actually take time off, is one of the hardest things I have to learn, but also one of the most important things, and it's been very productive for my art to have.
So social media often shows like the highlights of
Yes.
our work and what we do, but not all the challenges. What's something about being a full-time artist that like people might not realize or might not
so many
see?
things.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we talked about it earlier as well with the many different hats you have to have on.
Yeah.
So I think something we've joked about down here especially is like people have this idea that they come here and like it smells like weed and we're not very serious, but I think it's like, I think artists that pay rent for a space and produce things, whether we have come to a place where we can pay ourselves a salary, which takes a long time, or still have jobs to finance the whole thing. It's still a really honorable work, and I would say like if you have managed to, and I know you relate to this, right? Like even if you're not in a place where you pay yourself a full-time salary, like you have obtained skills that will benefit you for life. Like you have to learn so many things because there's no money for any of it.
Yeah.
You have to learn everything. You have to be very effective about it.
Yeah.
You have to learn to do it in a very short time because you need as much time as you can to develop your craft because people do not invest in this. Even in Denmark, where we invest a lot of money in art, we don't have enough money to invest in artists. and the time that it takes to make an artist.
Yeah.
So we have to do that. So we have to take jobs. So we usually learn how to do 2 full-time jobs plus whatever extra. So I think that's something people don't realize. I think people are usually very surprised when they see my accounting book, or I know a lot of stuff about the tax system, or see that I'm good at selling, you know, or like see that I'm good at asking for help, or I'm good at making coffee meetings. I actually had it recently because I was talking to a friend, and she was like, "You're so good at networking, la la la. You're so like, this is so natural for you." And I was like, dude, like 8 years ago, it was the most intimidating thing in the world to ask for a cup of coffee with someone. Like, to take someone's time to try and sell something, to go to a fair or market or something like that. Like, I've had to have so many rejections. And I remember at some time I was like, I counted the amount of open calls I applied for, people I reached out to, all that sort of things, and how much I got back from it. And it was like 1 out of 10 that I got back from. So I was like, okay, cool, that's my statistic. So every 10 I send out, I get something back. So you just got to put out 50 sometimes, then I get 5. And I think that's another funny thing is like being in that place, because now, of course, I've also learned how to structure my life. In the past year, I've had to learn how to relax and take days off and see that as an investment as well. And that has also helped me with the business. But the funny paradox is when people see the work that I started working on a year ago and that I'm emotionally over, but they see the harvest part of it, right? Like I spent, let's say, half a year in painting something and it's finally out somewhere, but I let it go half a year ago when I put it up somewhere or something. And I'm already working on the next 10 things. And people are like, oh, that thing that you made is so amazing. How can you do that? And I'm like, what thing?
Oh, oh my God, I can relate to that.
And it's always like that. Like and the thing is to be gentle to yourself as well. And I think we are good at that here as well. And remind each other, because I'm like, fuck, I did not get this thing, or I did not get that thing. And they're like, well, yeah, maybe you did not get those 30 things, but you got 5 really cool things out of it. Like you never get the full harvest, but eventually. Anyway, so I came back a couple of years ago, and I was like, okay, this whole, like, now people are starting to expect stuff, right? And I think even though they've accepted, like, maybe I'm not gonna be the one who has like a villa and a Volvo and like these kind of things, I still, as so many other artists, like, I still had this, okay, I need to grow up, but it's not cute anymore to just like travel around and like whatever. And so I got like a corporate job.
Wow.
Yeah, and I was like, the plan was like, okay, I'm getting this corporate job, and then like in my spare time, I invest that spare time in like developing my art. Because then I'm not depending on that financially, so I can like kind of like how I'm in a bit going to art school. The thing was that of course it did not work out, and I was not supposed to be in like that, and I hope that's the last time I learned that lesson. But the thing was, I was amazed by how little you do in those kind of jobs.
Maybe I should try it.
It was like, you're calling this a fast-paced environment? You have not seen the art world. I was like, this is, and I was like really shocked, and they were like, oh, it's even worse than the municipality. I was like, it's so slow, because it's like you work for someone, you have X amount of tasks, you only have one hat, which is your title, right? And I was like, this is so easy, it should not be legal.
Oh,
like,
I should share a story with you after.
Anyway, that was like, that was the thing, and I think that says a lot of, and I think, like, I mean, one, of course, that does not fit me or my temper, but also I could just never be happy in that. Like, I could never be happy doing so little. I have too many moods. I have too many desires, wishes, like
so
all
much.
kind of stuff. Yeah. And it's like sometimes, you know, you're like in the creative mindset, or you're in more administrative or like logical mindset. And like there's always, like when you have your own company, especially as an artist or creative being, like there's always something to do.
I also feel like, you know, sometimes I have these moments where I feel like very low and I'm like, maybe I should just give up and get a job. And then I think about it, I'm like, I would be so bored. Like, what would I do with all my time?
No, it's gonna kill you.
Yeah, But I wanted to just ask you a question. Like, what would you say to somebody, maybe as advice or to empower, encourage them, if like, and maybe I'm asking also for myself, for somebody that's like on the path to become a full-time artist maybe, but they are a bit scared of like, oh, I don't know enough, or I don't know like about economy, I don't know about like all the practical stuff, and like I feel like very anxious. Like this is also something I struggle with a lot, is I feel like I'm smart enough, I'm like experienced enough, like I could do it. I feel like I have all the kind of tools to do that and manage, but then I feel like I don't know how to like use all the tools in a proper way. And I know it's also something that everybody has to come or like learn for themselves and find their own systems, but at the same time I feel so like I don't know where to start, you know, to be like, what, like, how do I organize all this knowledge and how do I like use them efficiently to like really finally step into that and like pursue whatever I want, because I feel maybe a little stuck.
I mean, I think this is a twofold, there is a twofold answer here.
Yeah.
And one is like, I think we should talk a bit about, like after this, a bit about the difference of being a man and a woman in this, and doing the, or like
you can also
identify as a man or a woman, what feels most natural to me. Another one I want to say is, which always works for me in any aspect, is I ask myself two questions. One is, what would I do if I was not scared?
Yeah.
And what if I had faith? And I feel like asking those again and again and again in these different situations is what got me here.
Yeah.
And what got anyone anywhere, because you really confront whatever is holding you back, and you also confront what drives you.
Yeah.
But there's not enough role models for people that like identify as women, or you know, like have a 28-day cycle ish, you know, plus minus. And I think I saw a really cool Instagram reel, which was like these, like getting up at 4 a.m. and like doing your workout and doing your la la la, and then like that is gonna kill women. Yeah. You know, like it's not working for everyone. It's gonna drain us because we're cyclical creatures.
Yeah.
So, and I've tried that, and maybe like I've been on a roll for like a couple of days, but then something hits and it does not work anymore.
Yeah.
And I think one thing is I've gotten to understand my cycle much better and how I work. Like something that goes across most people with a uterus is when you ovulate.
Yeah.
You are more outgoing. That's a good time for sales, meetings, fairs, whatever, exhibitions. Yeah. But when you're PMSing, not a good time for any of that, you know? Like, but better to like, I don't know, maintenance stuff. Like doing like more routine things, admin work. Yeah. When the period is starting, like set new intentions, get an overview, organize a little bit. Yeah. That's like one way of working that I find very interesting. And I think also, especially if you're a small business owner and an artist or creative being, like getting to know your personality. Like whatever, you know, personality tests, disc tests, people tools, like whatever there is out there is super informative. I also use astrology, which is gonna probably separate people, but whatever. I use it. It works for me. It makes me smarter on me. And something I'm a bit curious on, I don't know too much about it yet is human design as well. And I think it's like, it's mostly to the point of like having a bit of grace with myself and understanding myself.
Yeah.
Like, because I felt very ashamed of being someone who's doing 1,000 things at once.
Yeah.
But it feels good. I'm not burning out. You know, I burn out if I'm trying to be a man. If I'm trying to have a job where I just do one thing. Or try to get up at 5 a.m. every day. Like, it does not work for me, you know?
Yeah.
So I think that is great to investigate a little bit.
Yeah.
If it makes sense.
For me, it does make a lot of sense. And I feel like I started sort of listening to myself, if you can call it that, since last year. And I also saw a huge shift, especially with like networking and, I don't know, you could say maybe people noticing my work and what I do. And it was literally, I started like paying attention to when I ovulate and when I have my period. And I'm like, no. But it was as simple as like, I don't feel like going to this event today. I want to be alone. And I listened to myself and didn't feel guilty about FOMO and all of that. And didn't feel guilty about like canceling and saying to my friends, like, no, I don't feel like going. And that's a good enough reason, because any kind of reason is a good enough reason, you know?
Yeah, and you don't even have to give a reason.
Totally, exactly. And that totally changed everything.
That's something, I think that's something we all have to learn in our journey.
I wanted to ask you last 2 questions about your earlier work, because I've heard from Sarah Camilla about one of your, I don't know if I can call it one of your first exhibitions, but I feel like one of your first different kind of exhibitions in her gallery, which used to be in Vestigal. And I got really intrigued because I understood that it was very vulnerable and very like raw and real. And yeah, I wanted to ask if you would feel comfortable sharing about maybe that work, but also what made you sort of shift in that moment and be like, okay, I'm gonna like be real. I'm not gonna try to make it nice or, you know, sell or something, but I will try to keep it real and authentic.
Yeah, so I think this is where, you know, the crossroads come, because like this whole like being the oldest daughter, make like taking responsibility of the good atmosphere, like all that crazy stuff. Because there's been this idea, it has to be nice. I think this is also how we're schooled, even in Via Design, where it's like we get to work innovative and like design new things and new solutions and stuff. Like, but it's still so much focused on. Or like we're still so in today's society, we're still so focused on the outlook on things and like aesthetics and all that kind of stuff. So, and I think that was my segue into art, because I came from design and I was like transitioning into like from a designer to an artist. Yeah, I used to make the clothes on women. Now I undress them and like looked what's under, right? That exhibition was about the process after my rape. And I think that rape has been what has, I mean, made me an activist in my art, and made, like, this is why it's bodies, you know, it's like, it's so feminine, but it's more peaceful. And it was a process, right? Like, with this. And I think it is, whether it's the first time, if you know the person, if you don't know the person, if it's not the first time, like someone not respecting your that's rape. Yeah. And I still find it hard to believe, and that's why I keep repeating it for myself, because I've been raised to think the same. And I think the difference is, like, if I put myself in those shoes, I mean, I would not even give you a hug if you don't feel comfortable with it. I would feel so bad about even initiating it, because if you felt like that was crossing your... That's how I look at it, right? Like, if I in any way could make anyone feel uncomfortable, I would hate to do it, because that's how I've been raised. But most men have been raised the opposite way, that they can just take. And then everyone else just has to deal with it. Yeah. And it was in making the exhibition pieces that I realized, and it had been 9-10 years ago at the time, and I realized, oh my God, he did not just come into my room and do it. Like that's how I've been thinking about it the whole time. He saw me. He's been watching me at this party, getting very drunk and tired, and walking all the way up. It was like a complicated house. He has been watching me, walking like he did not just enter my room randomly. He watched me get enough to drink that I needed to go up and sleep. It was like down the long hall, up, down the long hall again to the room I was sleeping in. And he followed me all the way down the long hall, up, and all the way down again to find me. So he did not just randomly enter my room. He was purposely, he was going for it. And not only did he do it, all the other guys, they saw that first with me, then they saw him coming after me, then they walked up, and they opened the door, and they were mocking us. And I was like, it was such an eye-opener, like how I've been conditioned also to look at this, like because I have still been looking at him as a guy who just drank a bit too much, whatever it was, right? No,
justifying.
It was a plan. He was a predator. It was crazy. So the exhibition was beautiful. We had a lot of interesting discussions, and some I remember especially one woman who opened up, she was like, I'm in that part of the process, I want to buy that piece, you know.
Oh, that's so beautiful.
It was really beautiful, and I've had that experience since, like especially, and it's so funny because if I'm painting without thinking, it's like women underwater, and other women who've been essayed, they resonate with it and usually buy that as well. And it was a big thing, but I think it's also, you know, like that's been a part of the journey. Eventually I would do other more feminist work, and I'm doing with a friend of mine, we take our clothes off and we just walk around naked on festivals. And it's like insane, and it's so liberating, and it's so fun to see like other women our age, like all ages actually, but especially our generation, are like, oh my God, that's amazing.
Such a nice confrontation also.
It's amazing. It's so liberating. So we're working on an exhibition with the people that write feminist history in Denmark right now. And it's just, I think everything that I work with, like it can be very feminine and like, you know, just nice to watch, nice to paint, like these sort of things, but from that sort of like that end of the feminine spectrum to the feminist part where it's like more activistic.
Oh, that's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing. And
of course,
speaking of like the future, you mentioned you're doing something with the feminist. Do you have any other projects or exhibitions coming up? Or
I feel like there's more that I'm just forgetting in this moment, because I think it's really nice conversation where we are touching different subjects. But
maybe also have another question. Are your works, I guess they are still connected to the feminist part? Right?
Yeah, that's the thing. It's because I like to work with different projects, and it's more like conceptual. So there's like the Hall of Femme is what it's called, the feminist exhibition where we're portraying these women, and a part of the process is like doing some activism, taking our clothes off, like allowing people to touch, write, whatever, talk to us. But I also recently made the dollhouse, which is the one I talked about. It's 6 meters tall and 4 meters broad, where it's like basically my idea of a madhouse of women that just had enough, you know, and you walk through this madhouse. Like, I think that's fun as well. And I think it's like in general, like some, maybe especially some family members would think and sometimes comment that isn't it enough about all this feminism? But I think that's what I'm here to do. I mean, a part of me believes like that's why I was raped in the first place. That's why I was so fascinated when I saw my great-granddad's
Painting.
painting of the drawing of the woman. That's why I come from a matriarchal family.
Mm-hmm.
Like, my grandma's the one with all the power. I think, that's why I keep being drawn to women, especially. Like, I love having all sorts of conversations, and I feel like also when especially women come into this space, I mean, of course men as well, but it's like we have something to talk about that touches all of us in a very significant way. So I feel like it's all about the equality.
That's so beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing, and
thanks for all your good questions.
Also, thank you so much for making time for me today.
Yeah, it was really beautiful. It's so good you came yesterday.
Where can people find you?
People can find me on Instagram.
I can also link everything. But
yes, on Instagram mostly.
Okay.
Where it's Lodwinter. That's the username. And then I have all the other links to whatever.
Yeah. Or in Graun also.
Oh, in Graun. Yeah. But only for the next couple of weeks, because then I'm heading to Rome.
Yeah.
To master more art.
Amazing. Okay,
yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And bye.
Bye.
That was my conversation with painter Lodwinter, hearing her reflection on the turning points of her journey, the realities of life as a creative, and the community she's found here at Kunsthus Tese reminded me why I love doing this podcast. The artist's mindset isn't just about talent or opportunity. It's about courage, persistence, and staying open to grow. I hope this episode leaves you inspired to nurture your own creative path, wherever it may be. Until next time, keep creating, keep learning, and keep showing up for yourself and for your art.